All right, let's talk about Web3. I know. A lot of people have pretty much written it off, right? The common story is that it was all hype and it ultimately failed. But what if that's not the whole picture? Today, we're going to dig into what's really been going on, this quiet, kind of hidden progress that's been happening just behind the scenes.
Yeah, this quote just hits the nail on the head, doesn't it? Think about it. The story we were all sold on Web3. It was all about these explosive gains, easy money, a revolution that was supposed to happen practically overnight. And when that didn't happen, everyone just threw their hands up and said, "Welp, Web3 is dead." But maybe, just maybe, we were all looking at the wrong thing from the very beginning.
And here's where the story takes a hard turn. While everyone was watching the price charts crash and burn, getting distracted by all the noise, the real builders, they just put their heads down and got back to work. They weren't trying to build the next flashy app for you and me. Nope. They started focusing on the boring stuff, the really important stuff, building the plumbing.
Okay, so to really get this shift, we've got to go back for a second. Let's just remember what we were all promised during that crazy peak of the hype. I mean, look at this. The difference is just huge. On one side, you've got this slick promise, simple apps that would replace your bank, make you rich, super easy to use. But the reality, it was a total mess of complex pipes. See, the builders weren't even trying to make a simple app. They were trying to build brand new financial rails. That's like building the entire railroad system from scratch, not just a shiny new train car. It's way, way messier.
And honestly, it's no wonder it felt completely broken to the average person. The whole experience was just not ready. You had these confusing wallets, fees that would jump all over the place for no reason, and just a terrible user experience all around. And this whole self-custody thing, it sounds great, right? Be your own bank. But what it really meant was, if you lost your password or clicked the wrong button, poof, your money could be gone. Forever. That's a lot to ask of someone.
So, okay, if retail users were stepping back and it wasn't about building the next TikTok, then what was being built? Where was all that time and money actually going?
Simple answer, infrastructure. All that slow, boring, totally unglamorous work of laying the foundation for what might come next. So the real work, the real focus, was on stuff like this, making transactions settle faster, building things called layer 2s. You can just think of them like express lanes on a highway built to make everything cheaper and quicker. Or tokenization, which is basically just creating a digital twin of a real-world thing, like a building or a piece of art. It's all about making ownership secure and, well, programmable. Look, these are not sexy, headline-grabbing ideas. They're deep, complicated engineering puzzles.
So with everyday users kind of taking a step back, this space opened up, and a whole new kind of player entered the game. One that couldn't care less about hype and cares a whole lot more about one thing, the bottom line. We're talking about big institutions.
See, these guys play a completely different game. They don't get excited about the idea of decentralization. They're looking for real, tangible benefits. Can this cut our costs? Can it speed things up? Is it reliable? And, super important, can we stay compliant with all the rules? It is a million miles away from the whole get-rich-quick dream that drove the retail side of things. And this is the whole point right here. Real adoption isn't some big, loud revolution where we tear everything down. It's quiet. It's integration. It's plugging this new tech into the old systems to make them just a little bit better. A lot of these institutions are probably using this stuff without even calling it Web3. It's just a new tool in the toolbox. Okay, so what does this all mean for the future? Well, it means we probably need to change how we think about what success even looks like here, because this whole thing is following a pattern we've seen before. I mean, this pattern happens with almost every big technology. First, you have to build the boring plumbing, the infrastructure. Think about the early internet or cloud computing. It took years of work behind the scenes. It's only after that foundation is solid that people can build the cool apps on top. And the users, we always show up last. With Web3, we just got invited to the party way, way too early, before the house was even built. So if we're being realistic, the future of Web3 isn't what we were first told. It's not going to be everyone buying their morning coffee with crypto. It's not some decentralized utopia that pops up overnight. It's probably going to be invisible. It'll be the tech that makes our financial systems faster. It'll be the rails that let us trade tokenized assets. It'll be working in the background, and we won't even know it's there. And maybe that's the single most important thing to understand. Real success for Web3 isn't when everyone's talking about it. It's when nobody is. Success is when it just becomes part of the invisible background fabric of our lives. It's kind of like the internet protocols we use every second without even thinking about them. It just works. So no, Web3 didn't fail. It just went home. It left the flashy world of consumer hype and found its real purpose in infrastructure. And let's be honest, infrastructure is boring. It's slow, it never trends, but it's the foundation that everything else gets built on.
And then one day, years from now, a whole bunch of amazing things will be running on top of it. And you know what people will call it? An overnight success. Funny how that works.